Welcome to Tell Me Your Story, and it's Conversations with Creatives. Now, I did wonder about this. Claire's here as well. It's always nice when people, pop in, to declare an interest in the sense that I've known you for a little while now, but you're here because I'm a fan. And that's the case with the people that I've had and the people that are coming up. I'm a fan of what you do. It's a word. I wonder if it's a word that's often seen as quite flippant. I'm sure there's a better word for it, but that is simply it. In fact, I've got of the ones. I think I've got everything. I've got my edition one of Caribou signed.
Yeah,
I always click the signed
yeah,
edition.
you do.
Um,
It's
signed.
yeah,
And I actually have another copy of this in London with a friend because I got them to go to Gosh to buy me one on the shelf, and I haven't had a chance to get it from them because things it won't. So Caribou, let's go
yeah.
and say, tell me about this. What is this, Francis?
It's like just a collection of. It's a sort of place where I can put all these different stories that come to my mind. It's like a specific kind of story for Caribou because I feel like there's other things that I'd like draw and do that couldn't be in it, but it's like a specific thing that I specific type of story that I do that it's like a collection of those sorts of things. It's from a specific area of my brain, and yeah, it goes in, and it's like usually two or three stories, and around 36 to 40 pages per issue. But
And
there's
it
one longer story going all the way through all of them. Yeah.
and that's Stamen, is it?
Yeah. Stamen or Starman. I don't know how the
Starman.
word is pronounced, but it's like the male part of the flower. So yeah, if you look at that one, there's like the little bits coming up. That's like the stamen of the flower. Yeah,
And also, there's other
yeah,
pieces as well. I mean, I don't want
yeah.
to overlay, but you are the both the author and the artist
Hmm.
of this, and I'm here to listen to you about where that comes from, where your influences lay, where your aspirations lay,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
also I'm really interested because I know, and I'm not like fishing or for anything. It's like I can't do this. I can't do this. Put anything in my hand forever, and I can't do it. I can't draw. I can't play instruments. I can't write. Really, I'm a verbal communicator. So I'm
Hmm.
endlessly not just impressed with people that can, but also can then do something that's in a fascinating and coherent way. So, so how did you get to this point? Who championed you and inspired you to pull together these ideas into this and publish it and get it onto a shelf?
Well, like in actual people who like made me do stuff. My mum's an illustrator, and I think, like sort of her just constantly working has motivated me to sort of like actually try and make something rather than just like sort of thinking of things. I think like a lot of people just I don't know. I think there was a point where I was just like I always wanted to make comics, but I just like hadn't ever really like made one. I just had at a certain point you just have to like do it. And I think like the first one's kind of like I'm not like happy with it now looking at it. The other two I'm kind of satisfied with, but not but the first one's like I think it's got this I just had to do it, I had to like start, I had to just try and make something. But like my influences are from all over. Like I
Tell me
mean,
about
I
them.
think like I mean, you look at it, and everyone always says like Dan Clowes and Charles Burns, and they are like a big part of it. But like
I
more,
don't know who they are. First of all, I
yeah,
loved comics as a kid, and I'm very much the surface. I'm of a particular age, so of course 2000
mhm,
AD, Alan Moore, Garth
yeah,
Ennis,
yeah,
all the wrong uns. I love them, and I
Yeah,
love what
I
they
would
did
think
as
so.
writers, and I love particular illustrators. I also have a particular passion for illustrators for children's books as well, particularly from
Yeah,
from
yeah, me
from
too.
from uh, from the age when those drawings were terrifying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
tell
love
us a
like
bit about
Toad
those
Campbell.
influences and who they are and why they influence you.
Yeah, I think like I don't know. I mean, like there's I was influenced by children's books as well because like my mum had a lot of children's books even as me and my little brother were getting older, all the children's books still kept piling up. I think like people like Tove Jansson and like what's Tommy Uringer. I can't remember. I don't know if that's how his second name's pronounced. But people like that, like were just they sort of think warped my mind to just see in or like think in images rather than like words. I can't write at all. I really like struggle to write, but I feel like I can kind of create a sequence of images. In the next issue of Caribou. I think most of the comics aren't even going to have words because I just think my sort of way of thinking is more suited to that in some way. Yeah.
It's a very and not most of it is black and white, but it's a very
Hmm.
it's got a very psychedelic feel to it. Am I does that is that an offensive term to use for you?
No,
It's got
no.
that very 70s. I don't know much about comics. I'm not going to pretend to,
Hmm.
but I know that that a very like an American 70s sensibility, the
Yeah.
exploded shapes and the abstraction as well. And in
Hmm.
Caribou edition one, at the end of that longer story, which is about the
Hmm.
birth of your art, isn't it?
Hmm.
Scroobius Pip wrote lots of songs about this, that, and the other, and because he looks quite alternative, everybody thought they were autobiographical. I do not presume
Hmm.
that, because these
Yeah.
aren't maybe stories, but it seems to be that the continuing theme is the struggle of the birth of art. Am I in the right zone there?
Yeah, I think the first one definitely like the first chapter of Starman is like really about that. As it goes on, it's like this. It's a different thing, and it's sort of Um, s- I think like I'm interested in the character in that story. I think it's like this. It's a specific archetype. And I think what I'm trying to do is like I think with that story, like the first chapter starts at the end of the story. And I think like and then it goes backwards to the first um the when he's a child. And I think what I think the psychedelic imagery is like this tool almost. I think it's probably somewhat comes from like my inspirations, but it's kind of a tool to take the story wherever I want it to go. Because I didn't want to just like show a flashback. Because it's not interesting in any way, and I don't think it really does anything. But yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, I think probably the psychedelic stuff comes sort of in like it's not directly inspired by psychedelic stuff, but it's probably inspired by people who are influenced by psychedelic stuff. Do you
And
know
of
what I
course,
mean?
I'm just overlaying my interpretation as the viewer. There's always the audience brings their own baggage, and very often the creators like, yeah, probably.
Hmm.
I am going to ask a direct question because there's a beautiful one
Hmm.
pager in the inside cover, your full color inside and outside
Hmm.
cover. Here, which I really like. It's got like a 70s Marvel feel to it as well.
Hmm.
Those colors and that. Is that you, Francis?
Yeah, yeah, kind of. It was when I went to Warrington. That's what that comic is about. It's about like I don't know,
Sitting in the
feeling.
toilet in between lessons, and just thinking, because I find it fascinating that you depict yourself as the alien,
yeah.
or well, not yourself. The character is the alien in this world, and I'm sure
Mhm.
many creatives can understand that feeling. How can I be
Mhm.
part of this world when I feel so different to it?
Mhm.
So again,
Yeah.
I applaud that. Um,
Mhm.
how do you, when you put something down on paper, do you have trusted people that you take that work to sense check it, or are you confident with it from the get go?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'll have a lot of people look at it usually. But yeah, it's usually my mum. My mum looks at. I think like it's more difficult now that I'm in London. Because I go to Camberwell Comic Club, and I show it to a lot of people there and get a lot of support from them. I think that's been like such a great thing. Having like being around people who are making comics and like they just share the same sensibilities. But I think yeah, there's. I mean, usually there's about. I mean, at least 10 people who see it and sort of I get sort of guidance from in some way before I print it, and I always like end up amending it so many times before it goes out. Um, yeah, and now I just like I want to, even now that it's out there, I want to amend it even more and just like, I don't know, just, it's not, yeah, I don't know. I'd want more people to see it before it came up as well, but I don't know, and then there's a certain point where you have to like stop yourself, so, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's really interesting to hear because Linny, who's here and applauds you, loves the artwork and applauds you for both your work, your ethic, your approach, and your internet connection. Linny was talking about the writing groups that they're in, and that because of course many people are artists, many people are writers, many people are poets, but not many people actually share what they do. That's the thing
Hmm.
that is the first step, isn't it? It's a big step. It's like a leap of faith, a cavern. So I'm really interested that you have the
Oh,
comic club that you
cut
get.
out there for a second. I think you cut out for a second.
It, I think for some reason it can be a little bit jumpy. I was saying I was really impressed that you have that comic book club that
Yeah, it's
you
great.
can just bounce ideas about. So
Hmm.
I mean, I've got edition 3.
Hmm.
Um, and there's a couple of things in it about that. I don't want to. I think people should start on edition 1, and they're all available through your online shop, and there will be
Hmm.
links. There's some beautiful pictures because, of course, you've got a Liverpool background. I live in Liverpool. There's some beautiful pictures of places that I recognise, like train
Yeah, of course.
stations and things. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
did. You enjoy taking those kind of formal or illustrative things into this world that you've created?
yeah. I mean, genuinely, that's been the most inspirational thing in the world. Because I think a lot of the stuff that is like directly Liverpool places. I mean, the next issue is literally just all like every other panel is just like a drawing of a place in Liverpool. That's but like in the 1920s. But um, but like the newest issue, being in London and then going back to Liverpool has been like it's like the most inspirational thing. It's like seeing everything in my life in a different in like a I don't know in a new lens, and it's been like it's so just like every single time I go back to Liverpool, I just feel so inspired. And even though like I'm in London most of the time now, when I do go back, it's like when I get most of my work done. Most like in the last issue, I was probably in London for I was in London for however long, like 6 months or something. I'd still say that like probably, um, like 30, about 60% was done, if not more. Most of it was still drawn in Liverpool because it's like the place where my thoughts are like coherent and I can like think properly and draw properly. I don't know. That's. how I feel. But yeah, the new one's going to be like just drawings of like so many Liverpool places. It's such a fun. I've been buying up like old books of like pictures of Liverpool in the 1920s, and yeah, and just drawing pictures from them. It's really exciting. This next one, I think. But yeah.
I'm always fascinated by the intersection between the writer and the illustrate in the artist. So, for instance, I
Hmm.
mentioned Alan Moore, and I know he's more novelistic now, but of course, he's incredible, influential comic book writer.
Hmm.
And if you see his script for the artist, of course, a page might only have a couple of panels and 10 words, but his script and description is can be volumes and volumes.
Yeah, yeah,
So the artists that he work with are regular, and they can see and they share his world. Does the writer and the artist in you sometimes butt up against each other?
yeah. I think they're the same thing for me. I think Alan Moore, he wrote all of his ideas down because he could write. He's like a writer. I think even his like books are just. I love his books more than his comics now. I sort of I got into him and like really loved his comics, but I do think he's like probably a better writer. I think his like scripts for his comics are like so much more interesting to read. Well, not always, but they're often more interesting to read than the actual illustrated comics. But yeah, I don't know the writing for me. I don't write like a script or anything. I just sort of it's usually just like drawings and sketchbooks that sort of like form over time. I'll write like sentences here and there, like just to like bring back an idea in my mind. But other than that, it's like I think the drawing and the writing is kind of the same thing for me. I think of it as just it's not. There's no difference really. I don't know.
So
Yeah.
you've got some objects there to show. Have you got issue 3 there that you could hold up to the
Yeah,
camera
yeah,
at
yeah.
all? Because
This is issue 3 with
that's it.
yeah.
Now you can't tell me you don't have on a shelf at home a whole stack of Tintin.
Yeah, they're right. I mean, they're just over there, but
Hold it
yeah,
up again. Hold it up again.
I,
Hold it up again. Hold
okay,
it closer. There it is. Tintin. That
yeah.
is, I mean,
Or
fantastic.
in this, it's Tinsley in this. I don't know. I can't.
Hold,
Yeah,
yeah, if you hold it still, but if you pull it back
Tinsley.
a bit, you can see the boat and the island and the
Yeah, yeah,
characters
yeah.
and the. Obviously, I'm a Captain Haddock stan. I know that's like 5 years out of date,
Hmm.
but
No, I love Tintin so much. It's like I think it's probably the best. Maybe the best comic series ever made. Um, yeah, I've been like collecting all of the books, but like it's so weird. But like I think some people will get it, but it's like all of them that have this specific kind of printing. It's like the sort of 70s versions of the books where it's like printed on like uncoated paper and it's
yeah,
like bound in a certain way and it's sort of falling apart. It has this like quality to those specific printings that I just love so much. And there's I've got like some 1 second. I'll just get them.
yeah.
Um,
Tintin for me. I was a big fan of Tintin. Asterix the Gaul. When you went to the library, you're only allowed 3 books at the time. One comic, Tintin or Asterix. One fiction, one non-fiction. That
these
was what I
are,
got. So what have you got there?
these are all my Tintins
Oh,
right here. I've got the Spanish version. I think it's Spanish. Of the what's it? The shooting is it the shooting star?
yeah.
And it's something about the way the colours look on this specific version. They're like kind of dirty. And it's
Mm.
just I don't know what it is specifically about it, but it just like looks so nice. It's got this grain and age into it, and it's such a weird thing because, but I think some people with similar brains to me would like get it. It's just like sort of tobacco stained paper, It's just I don't know. It's just like perfect.
They are
It's
alive.
exactly.
They are alive, and I think they. Whilst I personally have no problem with stories being updated, so they become accessible, and
Hmm.
every author did that from the Bible to the Grimms to Dickens. Dahl did it himself. It's not a new
Mhm.
thing. And I think anything that keeps stories, classic stories, going is fine by me. So what else are
Mhm.
you working on? You said at the beginning that Caribou is one vehicle. What else are you working on? Because you're
Mhm.
studying as well at the minute, are you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I've been doing loads of things recently. I've got too many projects on, really. But at the minute, I've done some stuff in a magazine with people, which is on I think on my Instagram at the minute, Esoterra, I think. That's just a small thing, but I've been working. I think I'm going to do a comic with a full color comic with another cartoonist. I don't know if he wants me to say, so I might not just
That's
say
okay.
now. But I think that's in the works. Yeah, there's other projects as well, but I don't. They're like too early to really like say much about. But yeah, I've got like a stack of pages from the new Caribou, and this is like the sort of
Let's have a look. Let's have an exclusive.
you can have a little peek.
Have a peep.
There's a yeah. If you
Oh,
want to see very
oh,
very quick peek,
screen
there's,
grab. Oh, I like that.
yeah, it involves Crows, sort of old guy in the Liverpool overhead railway.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, that's like what it's about, and Sudley House.
Oh, amazing. I passed that
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the most incredible place.
Yes. Yes, an
Yeah,
incredible family as well, and story, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
um, it's an amazing city, Liverpool. I think it's a city
yeah.
that is underrated, undervalued, and I
Mhm.
think it's a city that
Definitely.
takes people who've never been here by surprise when they get here, both for
Mhm.
the history, but the architecture and the
Yeah,
stories, the
definitely.
richness. I'm so pleased that you are steeping yourself in that, because
Mhm.
it's such an accessible. Um, there's so many stories to tell. And also I've seen you
Mhm.
do event and band posters and more graphic
Yeah,
design
yeah,
and
yeah. That's fun as well. I've been doing um, some illustrations for people, but that kind of like some of it drives me nuts. I just like, I just drawing, even though it is something that I love to do. It kind of does take a lot of energy from me. I don't know why, but it's like it's just I find it really difficult sometimes when people have certain. I don't know. I draw in a specific way. I think in a specific way. I find it difficult to go out of that. I need to do it, but I don't know. I don't know. It's also like really nerve wracking doing like illustration work. There's like a couple people who are like I really like love doing work with. Um, like, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like something that I have to do. To but I don't know. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's still better than you know. I don't know. Some
it's doing what you love
doing
and also
not
training.
so.
I'm a big fan of Raymond Briggs,
Yeah,
not
it was
just
very
the
good.
big popular. I love him as a person, his autobiographical work, the stories, the
Yeah.
rawness. He, like you, drew. Father Christmas was his father. um
Mhm. Mhm.
the second Father Christmas book was based on him going on holiday because he had some money for the first time and wondering what to do with it. But I also have some
Mhm.
60s graphic illustrations he did as a working illustrator. And you can see that's where he's
Yeah.
learning his craft. That's where he's finding his
Yeah. Yeah.
visual voice, if you will.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
very often, because if people want to ask questions, you can pop them in now, and I'll come back to them. And so give people time to think and ask if they want to. There's one from Ned about conspiracy theories, but we'll disregard that. Um, no,
That
what's your
was so.
favorite conspiracy theories? One to think about. In terms of art? and I will say this again. I'm really averse to the phrase "guilty pleasures." I don't think you should feel any guilt for what makes you happy, what brings you joy. Comfort blankets.
Mhm.
Who are the artists, the creatives, the writers, the illustrators, the TV, the film that you keep returning to? We've talked about Tintin, but what else is there for you?
Um, I've got like a whole stack of things here, but um, uh, I really, I really love Joe Kessler's work. Who works in Camberwell? He runs the Camberwell Comic Club. I think like I don't want to like he might see this, so I don't want him to. But I think like his book, The Gull Yettin, is like just such a great book. It's like I mean you should read it, Gav, if you haven't
Send
already.
me a link and I'll add that to this because I think that would be interesting. Why does it work for you? Why does it speak to you?
I mean it's just like perfect cartooning. It's exactly what like a comic should be. The I mean the sort of like comics. Uh, I think like the images in comics. Uh, it's what goes on in between the panels is like the important part. That's the action in comics. It's like that's where the images in your mind sort of like are created, and I think like that the Gull Yettin for me just like has this like it's constantly moving. It's like this. It feels it's I don't know. It's better than any. It's more animated than any animated film I've seen. I think it's just incredible. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. Joe might see it. I wonder what he'd think. But
It's good. It's good to
yeah.
celebrate people and celebrate the things that we love. It's a really it's that
Hmm.
thing, isn't it? It's like when you sit down with someone and say, "I love this," or "This is really funny," or "I think this is beautiful." It's a really personal thing, isn't it?
Hmm. Hmm.
Sharing the heart and say, "I don't believe in highbrow and lowbrow. I just, I think we need to find the things that bring us joy."
Yeah,
And
I've got
and Come on,
things.
show us some things.
I I don't know, just random things. The best film ever made, Paris, Texas.
Oh, Paris,
Uh,
Texas.
Probably my favorite film ever. It's like
Harry Dean Stanton.
yeah, it's best actor ever as well. There's all these. I mean, these are these are silly, really, but I mean, I like J.D. Salinger, Kurt Vonnegut,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Which
and
one
then
have you got there?
the best,
Slaughterhouse
maybe my
Five.
favorite one. Yeah, Slaughterhouse Five. It's just like got
Francis,
so much heart.
I got to a certain age, and when I stopped pretending, I read or watched things. But I remember seeing the film of Slaughterhouse
Yeah,
Five,
it's brilliant.
and
I
just
really like it.
such an eye-opening film. It's one of those books I
Yeah, yeah.
should have read and hoped to get round to reading. But why should I read it?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like there's no uh, book that like captures like human experience more, and there's no book with like better structure. Do you know? There's no book with like the structure of this book. It's non-linear, but there's no the way it tells its story is just like it's just like mind-blowingly good. I feel like I like the film. I don't really see people really talk about the film that much, but I think it's
No,
really fun. It's not as good as the book, but
no.
it is really, really good. And I think like there's just something about it, something about like the main character. Um, I've forgotten his name now. I can't.
Doesn't matter.
But and just like how it is like a personal story, but it uses like um it uses fiction to tell a personal story in this way, which I think is what all books are doing, really. But it's sort of, it's not like super meta or anything, but it sort of, breaks the boundaries of that. I don't know. Um, there's all this stuff. I mean, this Crime and Punishment is like one of my favorite books as well. And then Nietzsche. That's just a silly thing, but I really like Nietzsche as well. And then
Well, I think it
I've
bleeds through
got
in your work. There is an intellectual honesty and heft, but also there's a rawness, and there's an openness and an honesty, and then there's, I think, what appeals to me in your work, Francis, is that you presume your audience gets it, even when the audience doesn't need to get it straight away. You know, it's like lots of good
hmm
art. It's the return. It's the return reaps the rewards. And so, yeah, you got a really strong basis there.
hmm
Slaughterhouse
Thank
Five was
you.
the book we were talking about there, Claire. Slaughterhouse Five, the Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah, so that's like oh, so good.
So
I've
good.
probably read
Okay.
it like, so
Okay.
many times. Just, yeah,
Oh, you've shamed me into
you know.
to reading it. I'm going to have to do that.
You can read it in an afternoon. It's so compelling. It's like compulsive. Like from the first sentence, I was hooked. I think I read it in like 2 days, which is I don't think that really happens. I think the only other book I read that fast was like Catcher in the Rye, because it's just so like you know I don't know, just you just want more constantly, and it's constantly providing more as well. It's brilliant.
So
Yeah.
Josie's asking, do you use sketchbooks? And are they a messy mix of things, or are you drawing specific ideas for projects?
Yeah, I do. I do use sketchbooks. I've got my sketchbook over here, um, and I can show you. It's a mixture of a couple things. It's like there are like uh, a messy mixture of ideas, but then there's sort of like um, paintings and stuff. Like this is a page from planning the new ones, but it's like just very rough. But then in the same book, I have like paintings that I'm doing, just like rough paintings. But then there's like other things where it's like you know more proper drawings. This is like yeah. I mean, I mostly use it to plan stories, but then I also do things on its own. But this is the plan for the first half of the new issue. But then sometimes it's just like me testing a new pen for like 5 pages or something.
Do you
Just
have a
like silly
favorite pen?
drawings. Yeah, I really like rotring pens. But recently mine, yeah, I really like rotring pens. I need to clean all mine because I didn't use them for a bit and they've sort of blocked a bit. But yeah, other than that, I really like these. Where is it gone? Um, these pens, but with like the one on the top, and they're like sort of soft, almost felt tippy, but pigment liners. They're really fun. That's what I do all my panel borders with because they have like a perfect line for it.
You
Yeah,
must
and
go.
then like
You must go through a few black pens.
yeah,
You're
I mean yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, and but rotring pens are good because you can refill them, and
right.
yeah, but yeah,
So,
yeah. There's
Joseph, go on, carry on.
yeah. So,
There's a
no, I
there's
mean,
always
yeah,
a
there's not
delay.
much more. That's a new,
So, oh,
yeah,
that's
that's a new, that's
is that from
yeah,
four?
I don't know. No, it's just this stupid drawing. It's just like something of I just like hadn't drawn the character in a while, and I sort of needed to, so I drew his face, and then put a weird body. Yeah, anyway. Bill
Josie says thank
Plimpton.
you. She loves seeing people's sketchworks. Yeah, have you heard of Bill Plimpton? I remember Bill Plimpton's
No,
work. Yeah,
who's
very
Bill Plimpton?
I think Canadian, possibly. They're definitely North American illustrator, very abstract, converted into really
Mm-hmm,
recognizable style of animation, very basic animation. But I agree, worth seeking out. And Claire thinks you would get on well with Robin
mm-hmm.
Ince. I think
No,
the same. Are you aware of Robin Ince's work or writing?
no. So,
That's okay.
no, these literary people, these writers. So mostly, I just have been reading too many comics.
Well, Robin Ince is a stand-up comic with an obsession for books and art and
Oh,
culture.
okay.
And thoroughly Cosmic Shambles
Cool,
I would
cool.
recommend is a good starting point to his brain, and he's got several books about being a comic and ADHD and
Okay.
neurodivergence. But Bill Plimpton was very popular at one point, and his short films were very often on Channel 4. Um, I'm really very grateful. Do you have a favorite
Okay.
conspiracy theory?
Cool.
Is are conspiracy theories your thing?
Yeah, yeah, they are. Big time. I do have a favorite conspiracy theory, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All of it's interesting. All of it is, and it's all sort of connected and all kind of um yeah. There's truth in all of it as well. There's truth in like not in necessarily like it's truthful exactly, but I think a lot of conspiracy theories show uh they understand like a weird truth about the world that isn't like it's not like they're literally saying the truth, but it's always something to do with an elite, and there is an elite that you know there's like people who have money are in charge of the world, and I think a lot of conspiracies are just a sort of misunderstanding of that. Yeah, suspiciously vague answer must be a lizard. Yeah,
For
I
me,
wish I was a lizard.
yeah, being a lizard would be fun. For me, our obsession with a conspiracy is not a new thing. For me, today's
Hmm.
conspiracy theory is the beginnings of tomorrow's myths and legends. That
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
these folkloric stories, these twisting of
Hmm.
local stories and legends that become something else in the telling. And for some people,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
understand inherently they are stories and that they are reflections of the world and they are
Mhm.
versions of the world. And for other people, they are taken literally. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I'm not, having worked very briefly for government. I don't know about the super elites, but I've met the government, and I honestly don't think they could hold a conspiracy together. A lot of them are quite useless. But you're not. Look at
Yeah,
this. This
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I keep my caribous in a special place. One day I will
Oh
be able to.
yeah.
I will be able to say I have an early original Francis Todd, and I'm very proud to have that. I'm very impressed with your work and the development of it and the strengthening of it. And I really look forward to your next editions or whatever comes next. Thank you so much for your time. What have you got? What have you got to look forward to culturally? A film, a book, TV coming up that you're looking forward to.
Say that again. Sorry, it cut out for a second.
What are you looking forward to culturally? I mean, you live in that there London, so you've got all those
Hmm.
exhibitions, all that, or is it something on the telly, something that's coming up? Me personally, I'm looking forward to Andor. I'm a big Star Wars nerd.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
I'm a big Star Wars nerd. I mean, yeah, I, I've, yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched any of the Star Wars TV shows, so I don't really look forward to them. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to a lot. Uh, I'm. I feel like there's just stuff that I don't know. I'm looking forward to reading things that came out years ago. I'm looking forward to reading more Dickens books, or but the ones I haven't read or whatever. That's the sort of thing. I don't know. No, I am looking forward to one thing. Really, really looking forward to it. The rehearsal series too. Nathan Fielder. Oh my
Okay.
god, the first series is like the best thing, one of the best things ever on TV. The Curse is like absolutely incredible, and then like the rehearsal series too just looks like one of the most insane TV series ever. Yeah, it looks incredible. I think it's coming out on like April 20th or something. So yeah, a couple days.
Thank you for the recommendation and thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I'll put links to your online shop and your Instagram, and perhaps you'll send me to the link to the comic book artist that you said we should be looking out for. I really value it,
Mhm.
Francis. What are you going to do now? You're going to do some more drawing? You said you were set up to do some drawing now, or is
Yeah, I'm gonna finish another page. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get it done. But yeah, something like maybe what time's it? Maybe go to the pub. We'll see.
Good idea. Good idea.
Honestly,
Thank you, Francis. I look forward to
no worries.
everything. Really appreciate it. Keep it real, says Ned. And Linny says, thank you very much. I thoroughly recommend Linny's book, Outpost 9.
Yeah,
That was
definitely.
a right rollicking story. Good night, good evening. Take care. Look after
Good
yourself,
night.
Francis.
See you
Ah,
then. Bye bye.
see you later. And so there we are. Oh, what a lovely young man. Really, really impressive body of work already. The striving to tell a very raw, a very honest story, and I can see that as each of the Caribous are coming out. And I thoroughly recommend, if you want to get on board and support a young creator who's really thinking about what they do at the very early stage, then I can't recommend Francis highly enough. Right, so there we go. I asked Francis to tell me your story, and he did. Next week, same time. I don't know what the quality was like here, but this is still finding my feet and experimenting with it. Kate Fox, Dr. Kate Fox, if you will, poet, writer, journalist, currently running writing workshops online, so you can jump on board those already. They're drop-ins, and just a hugely impressive creative podcaster as well. What's the title? Neurotypicals do not juggle. Chainsaws is the title of their podcast. Again, I can recommend that. There next week, and then Helen Jeffrey, who's also running online writing workshops for playwriting very soon, and has a play that they've just mid-tour they can tell us all about. That's in 2 weeks' time. And I think I'd like to carry on with this. I always pop these over onto YouTube, but I'm really grateful that you're here live, or you're watching it back. And if you get this far, oh, you're the very best. Maybe you'll tell me your story one day. I'd be interested. I like talking to people. I'm basically very noisy. Bye bye.